He's a little bit country. He's a little bit rock and roll. He's a little bit polka, death metal, abstract jazz, and German industrial techno. He's Scott Leffler. He's not allowed near the stereo at parties.
Hey, hi, how you doing? Scott Leffler here. Welcome to Here's the Thing. It is Monday, March 26, 2018, approximately 8 p.m. You know how we do. And welcome to tonight's show. Now, on tonight's show, we are going to have Cory McKnight as our guest. Cory, of course, from the incredibly popular Cory Comments On, one of the most popular podcasts and shows that we have here on All West New York Radio. And then a little later, after we talk to Cory, I'm going to discuss the bird war because, you know, the bird war is an important thing that we need to keep, out there. And this week's bird war incident is just horrific. There's an owl that attacks a wedding, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Before we get to that, though, obviously, I have important things of the day that I want to talk about. Some other quick notes. This coming Saturday is the 12th anniversary party for All West New York Radio. Believe it or not, All West New York Radio was started nearly 12 years ago. It'll actually be 12 years ago on Sunday, which is Easter. Can't have a party on Easter, so we're having it on Saturday at Mohawk Place. And we've got tickets on All West New York Deals if you want. Advance tickets for $7. Otherwise, they're $7, or otherwise they're $10 at the door. So we would love to see you out there. I'll be there. I will not be wearing my birthday suit. Thank God for that. Well, I will be, actually. It'll just be under my other clothes. But we'll be there with anniversary party stuff. I don't know what Joe's got planned. Joe's the best. So, Think So Joe show here on All West New York Radio every Wednesday. He's also the events coordinator for All West New York Radio. And at least once a month, he brings us some fun things. So we've got this one coming up the end of this week, and then there's another one in like 2 weeks. And it seems like Joe's always got things that he's cranking out. And I think that is absolutely brilliant. So make sure you listen to the Think So Joe show every Wednesday. Make sure you listen to Cory Comments On every Friday. Make sure you listen to Here's the Thing every Monday. Now, if you tuned in last week, and I hope you did, if you didn't catch it on the podcast at allwestnewyorkradio.com, I unveiled a bit of a new format. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to talk about something that interests me. Then we're going to play some audio from my YouTube channel, Here's the Thing. And then we're going to have the interview with Cory McKnight, who will be here in studio at the All West New York Studios in Niagara Falls. And then we've got another audio from the Here's the Thing YouTube channel. And then I'll close out with, usually it's going to be something lighter. This week it's bird war stuff because the bird war just rages on and we have to do something to stop it. So, but before we get to any of that, I want to tell you what's bothering me today. And it's been bothering me for a while, and it just keeps going on and on and on. It is March 26, 2018, as I said. We are 6 weeks removed from the horrific shooting in Florida that happened on Valentine's Day, in which 17 high school kids died, lost their lives, all because some douchebag had a gun. So you may or may not know my take on gun control. I personally do not want to see assault weapons banned. However, I do want to see them more difficult to obtain. I think that it is the right of the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment guarantees that we can have arms, including assault weapons. But I think that just like any right, there are things that one can do to divest themselves of that right. I believe that, criminal records, proven mental instability, etc. I think that if you're going to own an assault weapon, if you're going to own an AR-15, I think that you should have to prove that you know what the hell you're doing with it. I think there needs to be some sort of training. After the training and you pass the background checks and you can prove that you're not crazy and you don't have a criminal record. And by criminal record, I mean, assault, robbery, that sort of thing. I'm not talking about petty theft. I'm not talking about, driving without a license. Real legitimate criminal record. I think that those things can limit your right to own an assault weapon. I think that that's reasonable. I'd like to see the direction go in that way. And it seems to me as though a lot of the kids who are protesting. There was, of course, the huge protest over the weekend. They said 800,000 people protesting in Washington, D.C. I watched, some of the videos. I saw the speech given by Emma Gonzalez. Absolutely brilliant. I was dumbstruck. I was awestruck. I had no words. Words is my due, and I had no words after watching this speech. She was incredible. If you missed it, basically she said, she started by saying 6 minutes, 20 seconds, and, she said that's how long, this gunman was in our school, that's how long we didn't know what was going on. And then she listed the names of the victims, and then she was silent for like 4 minutes until she got to the point of her speech where an alarm on her phone went off, and she said that was 6 minutes, 20 seconds. Now, the crowd was mostly silent throughout that. So it was pure silence. Every once in a while, they cheered or chanted or clapped or whatever. I think they didn't entirely know what she was doing, but she just stood there and cried for 4 minutes. And it was incredible. Now, I have a lot of respect for these kids. These kids have seen their friends die and don't want to see it happen to anyone else. And so they're doing what they know that they can do, which is to get out and protest and speak their piece and, etc. Now, from the beginning, they have been derided by some people in this country. Now, you may or may not know this. I am a registered libertarian. Libertarianism it's part left, it's part right. I think that, some of what the Democrats believe is true. I think that some of what the Republicans believe is true. That said, I do tend to align a little more closely with the Democratic Party than with the Republican Party because, by and large, the Republican Party is filled with assholes. So I don't want to associate with those people. Not all Republicans are assholes. I have friends that are Republicans, although they're mostly assholes, but that's okay. I've dated well, they were mostly assholes too. But anyway, not all Republicans are assholes. Some Democrats are obviously also assholes as well. But by and large, I can't get with the Republican Party. I can't get with the right wing of this country because they use hatred and division. And so we've got these kids who basically just saw their friends die, and now they're out, saying, we don't want this to happen again, and immediately they're derided as crisis actors. The other day, somebody from the NRA said, well, nobody would have even heard of these kids if their friends didn't get shot up. Dude, I never even fucking heard of you. Oh, by the way, I swear in this show, warning label, it's call Tipper Gore. Immediately they started attacking these kids. Grown-ass adults, my age and older, going after kids because basically the kids didn't believe what the adults believed. Now, for the most part, the kids have not said, we want to get rid of guns. Some of them have said, we want to get rid of assault weapons. Some of them have said, we want to, increase background checks. Some of them said a variety of things. Now, some of them have said, let's get rid of guns. You know what? You get a large enough group of people, there's always going to be some people that are going to say things that are somewhat outlandish. I think it's outlandish to think that this country could get rid of guns. I don't even think that's a good idea. But I don't bemoan them for not wanting people to have access to assault rifles. I disagree with them, but I don't bemoan them for it. I'm certainly not going to deride them for it. I'm certainly not going to say horrible things about them. But it seems as though there is a faction of this country, and the faction of this country is known as the Republican Party. And they're just going to deride anything that they don't agree with. So, I've been seeing these things and reading things, and I can't believe that this is America. Growing up, I learned that America was a land of opportunity and, everyone was wonderful, basically, is kind of what I learned. There are some bad apples, etc. But it seems to me as though there's a lot more bad apples these days than there are good apples. It seems to me as though the bunch is actually to the point where it's just about ruin. Now, I'm not saying get rid of America, obviously, and I'm not saying get rid of these Americans, but I am saying shut the fuck up. Because I'm so sick of your whiny bullshit. People get killed, and then they complain about the fact that, that their friends complain, hey, my friend was killed. And then you've got to attack this person who's a child? And so first of all, you say, well, they're not old enough to understand the complexities of gun control. But they're old enough to go to war. And, of course, they're old enough to buy and use an AR-15. But they're not old enough to understand it. Well, maybe there's part of the fucking problem. We've got people that have AR-15s that aren't old enough to understand it. Now, I'm not saying that they don't know that guns kill people. Everybody knows that guns kill people. Hold on, guns don't kill people. People kill people. But guns make it a fuck of a lot easier. Again, I'm not calling for gun control. I'm calling for people control. And I think that people control is incredibly reasonable. Now, on one hand, I'm calling for people control in that we shouldn't just give everybody guns. There should be some sort of limits to who can have the guns. Not even huge limits. But there should definitely be limits. If you have mental problems and they're known, if you have a criminal record and it's known, there should be limits on whether or not you can get a gun. Also, people control in terms of, dude, all right, look, I get you have a First Amendment right. It's your right to be an asshole. But that doesn't mean that you should. You know, I saw this thing earlier on Facebook. A friend of mine posted something, and it was a dude at one of the protests standing there holding an assault rifle. He wasn't holding it. It was over his shoulder. But still, you know, he's standing there. Basically, these kids are like, they're out there going, hey, you know, our friends got killed and this scares us. And then this dude's standing there with a gun. Now, he wasn't breaking any laws, except for the law of the golden rule. And I know, the golden rule is not a law. But basically, look, I've been saying this for years. Just because you have a right to do something doesn't mean that it's right to do. Do you get that? You have a right to say whatever you want. It doesn't mean that you should. It doesn't make you a good person. You shouldn't go out there and say, here's my gun and just, you know, from my cold dead hands. Fuck you, Charlton Heston. Fuck all you Charlton Heston wannabes. Fuck the NRA. You know what? I used to have respect for the NRA. I don't anymore. They're not an organization for gun advocacy. They're not an organization for responsible gun ownership. They're an organization for crazy people and selling as many guns as humanly fucking possible. And while we're at it, that goes the same for most Republican congressmen. They have no interest in responsible gun ownership. They have an interest in quantity of gun ownership. As many people with guns as possible. And I don't know why, other than the fact that that's where the money comes from. So I guess if you get bought out by the NRA, then you just want as many people to have as many guns as possible because that means you get as much money as possible. And who cares if there's dead kids? And if there is dead kids, well, you know what? Fuck them anyway. Or at least that seems to be the prevailing thought. I am so sick of people claiming their right to free speech when all their right to free speech is them being an asshole. Yes, you have a right to be an asshole, but it doesn't make it right. And you know what? Someone might not have a right to kick your ass, but it would be right if they did so. Sometimes the law doesn't coincide with what's right. Sometimes something's legal but not right. Sometimes something's illegal, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're being a douchebag and standing there with a gun at an anti-gun rally is a douchebag move. And if somebody kicked your ass, you know what? What they're doing might have been illegal, but I wouldn't have said it was wrong. And a lot of people wouldn't have said it was wrong. And if you want to somehow or another think that it's wrong, well, then maybe you should re-examine your own priorities. I am so sick of so-called grown adults saying that these kids are evil. There was a thing today I saw, maybe it was yesterday, I don't know, that like Emma Gonzalez had ripped a target, like a shooting target, and somebody photoshopped it into the Constitution. And they're like, oh, look at the commie. And then they're talking about the fact that she has a patch on her jacket. It's a Cuban flag. So obviously she's a Castro-loving commie. Now, if you looked into it at all, you would find out that she has Cuban heritage. Is it wrong to celebrate your heritage? I celebrated my heritage 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, whatever. Went out to the parade. I was Irish as fuck. Got drunk. I was stupid. Now, no one's complaining about that. It's okay if I celebrate my heritage. It's okay if people who aren't Irish celebrate Irish heritage. You never see somebody go, oh, look at you with your shamrock hat. Why don't you just go back to Ireland? Being Irish is okay. For some reason or other, being a descendant of Cuba is horrible. So apparently, if your father immigrates from Cuba in 1968 because he's trying to get out of Cuba because he doesn't like what's there, then you're just supposed to hate Cuba forever. Don't be proud of your heritage. Don't be proud of being Cuban by any way, shape, or form. Or maybe it's okay if you're an adult, but just not okay if you're a kid. And then these other people that are, you know, talking about her sexuality. Dude, are you kidding me? We're talking about a 17-year-old girl here. Some people have no fucking couth. What is wrong with people? Seriously, what is wrong with this country right now? Why is it that anyone thinks any of this is okay? And it isn't just anyone. It's not like a small percentage of people who are like, hey, man, that's okay. A large group of people are like, yeah, fuck these kids. Seriously. I can't. Again, my brain can't. Also, and this is just a very short aside because I'm already at my limit of the time that I was allowed to speak here because we still got to get to Cory, and then we got to get to the other thing. I saw a thing on Fox News. They were talking about Mr. Rogers was evil. Mr. Rogers. You remember Mr. Rogers? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you worship Satan with me? Apparently, according to Fox News, that's how it goes. Except, no. Mr. Rogers, according to them, was evil because he wanted kids to think that they were special just because they were them. He wanted kids who might not be told otherwise that they were loved. He wanted kids to know that everything was going to be okay. He thought that that would be a great idea. And yet, for some reason or another, this is the wrong thing. They actually said, maybe he should have told them, you're not good enough. Try harder. That was what they fucking said. I'm sorry, you can pick on a lot of shit, but you can't pick on teenagers with dead friends, and you can't pick on Mr. Rogers, unless something is wrong in your fucking head. In which case, you should not have access to assault weapons. Sorry. I'm frustrated. I'm at wit's end. This country, not everyone, obviously. There are a lot of people in this country that just suck at life. We're supposed to be better than this. We're supposed to be the hill on the shiny city on the mound, or whatever the fuck it's called. That was 20 years ago when I was in political science classes. We're supposed to be the example to the rest of the world. We're not the example to shit. We're not even good people. And yet we do it because, we have the right. I have a right to be an asshole. Yes, but it still makes you an asshole. Like, don't say I have a right to be an asshole and then somehow or another that means you're not an asshole. No, you're still an asshole. If you've been complaining about kids who are complaining about their dead friends, you're an asshole. If you somehow or another think Mr. Rogers is what's wrong with the world, you're an asshole. All right, sorry. So, again, I'm beyond my allotted time. Stick with me. I got to take a break, so we're going to do the YouTube video. And obviously, it's not a video because you're listening. Don't look into the speaker. You won't see it. But if you do want to see it, I'll put a link to the YouTube video channel for Here's the Thing on the podcast. Following the YouTube video audio, we'll have Cory McKnight in from beautiful Rochester, New York. And then another YouTube video, and then I got to tell you about this owl that attacked a wedding, because it's insane. It's just absolutely insane. So, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you tuning in. If you tuned in late and you didn't catch all of that and you want to catch it on the podcast, please do so. We will have the podcast up at some point this evening at allwnyradio.com. You're listening to Here's the Thing. My name's Scott Leffler, and I'm way over time, so I'm going to have to, make sure that we're tight on Cory and cut the end bit short. So, apologies. I got a little bit worked up. If you would like to respond, you're welcome to do so. You can tweet me at Scott Leffler. Just let me know what your thoughts are. Now, understand, we may not agree. And if we don't agree, I might not respond back to you. Because I don't feel like dealing with assholes. I'm sick of it. I just don't. Now, that's not to say don't disagree with me. Please do so. Be respectful about it. Don't talk shit about kids. And don't talk shit about Mr. Rogers. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'll be right back. If you're an American, then you're well aware of the fact that Americans invented pretty much everything worth inventing. And we're the best at everything. We have the most advanced technology, and we smell the best, too. Here's the thing. You're wrong. Well, I'm not entirely sure about smelling the best. That may be true. But there are definitely areas where we do not come out on top. And you'll be surprised to know that one area we fall behind is online. Compared to the rest of the world, our internet speed kind of sucks. In fact, we're 10th in the world for internet speed, behind South Korea, Norway, Sweden, Hong Kong, Switzerland, Finland, Singapore, Japan, and Denmark. South Korea's average connection speed is 28.6 megabits per second, 9.9 more than the U.S., which stands at 18.7. But we're getting better. A year ago, we were at 17.2 megabits per second, and not even in the top 10. So why is this? Some of it, of course, could be due to the nature of averages. Speeds in major cities are going to be much higher than in rural areas, and we've got a lot of rural areas in the U.S. But another part of it is due to virtual monopolies when it comes to broadband in the U.S. Basically, each region has its own internet provider, which is also the cable company, and they have no real competition, so they have no incentive to improve. But hey, it could be worse. We could rank 32nd or something crazy, like we do in mobile data network speeds. If your internet allows, please like and share this video. A comment wouldn't hurt either. Oh, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. There's a button to do so right up top.
Ladies and gentlemen, today the role of Scott Leffler will be played by Will Smith.
Joining me on today's show, the one, the only, the very talented Cory McKnight in the beautiful All West New York radio studio here at 1625 Buffalo Avenue, Niagara Falls, New York. Cory,
yes,
dude, welcome.
I'm here. I made it.
You did. You're real.
I'm a real person.
Yeah, and you're not a 40-year-old German.
Nope.
Because I'm always worried that the people I'm talking to online are going to end up being 40-year-old, which wouldn't necessarily that's okay.
Catfish, man.
Yeah.
Don't want that.
No, you definitely don't. But we've had an online relationship for 10 years now, basically.
Yeah. Yep.
Actually, closer to 12.
Mm-hmm. Long time.
As we come up on the 12-year anniversary of All West New York Radio.
Very cool.
You were one of the originals.
Mm-hmm.
You were doing the YouTube gig back in the day.
That's right.
Talking about the Sabres when the Sabres were worth watching.
Yep.
And we reconnected a little over a year ago now. You just had your anniversary last week, right?
Yep. I think it was on Wednesday or something like that last week. Yeah.
So Cory just had his anniversary with us. Been back for a year now.
That's right.
And so now he comments on, and it started out as a 3-time-a-week gig,
mm-hmm.
and now you're focusing on Friday because you got so much else going on.
Oh, I'm busy.
That's so All West New York Radio. It seems like everybody that works with the station or with the website in any way, shape, or form has a million other things going on too.
Right.
And so basically, Cory's got his show. Every Friday it airs at 2 and 5 p.m. on All West New York Radio. 5 p.m.
Don't forget, tune in, please.
And then, of course, we have it on the podcast thereafter. And now, Cory, you've got a fan for your show.
I do.
She likes you.
I think so.
I think she does,
I think most days
now,
she does.
assuming, of course, she's real.
And
true. Not a 40-year-old German
True.
dude.
No, the catfish situation.
Exactly. Which is entirely possible.
It could be.
Yeah. So I know you two tweeted each other
did.
every once in a while. She and I tweeted each other every once in a while. She tweets at Joe.
Oh, definitely.
I think she kind of mini stalks everybody on the station. Really, for some reason or other, she really doesn't like Joe. Except she follows Joe.
Oh yeah.
She listens to All West New York Radio because of Joe.
For being such a Joe, for having so much to say about him negatively in his show. I feel like she probably listens every week, right? And she's probably his number one fan, really.
Probably
by default,
yeah.
I guess.
Well, I can tell you this. So I can track. How long people listen,
right.
where they're listening from, what device they're listening on. I can't see naked pictures of them, which is probably a good thing.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday that's possible. Yeah, dude, seriously. But I mean, the data analytics is pretty cool. I can tell you this. There is a listener in England listening all the time. Now, maybe it's not her. Maybe it's somebody else, but I have a feeling it's.
I have a sneaking suspicion
it
could be Laura.
So, but hey, cool. Glad to have you.
Hey, yeah, all the fans in the world are. We enjoy everybody listening. So,
yeah.
Thank you, Laura. You're the best, or the worst. I don't know. Depends on the day.
It really does. It really does.
We love you, Laura.
So, so you came out and we talked. But by the way, Cory's going to take on a slightly larger role with the website. Cory and I talked, and he's going to basically make sure that some of the content is updated a little more regularly because
that's right.
I haven't been able to stay on it to the degree that I want to, and I don't have the time to keep up on it. Cory, although busy, thinks that he might be able to manage it, so we're going to let Cory handle some of the web updates.
I think I'm
which
your guy.
Should give us more content updated more regularly, which hopefully means that we'll be able to have a little more exposure, because the goal is for everybody in Western New York to get their news from All West New York News and to get their music from All West New York Radio.
I love that.
That's the goal.
That's
been the goal for 12 years. Well, the radio part at least has been the goal for 12 years. All West New York News, of course, we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary on the 1st. So
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, well, I kind of did that on purpose. Said, I'm going to launch the news website exactly 10 years after the radio website, which was a really brilliant plan of mine 4 years ago, and I had to wait all that time. Actually, no. To be honest with you, when I started developing All West New York News, I started working on it in February of 16.
Okay,
and I was like, all right, I got to do this, I got to do that. When can I launch it? And I thought about launching it on March 15th.
Okay. Is that a data significant? Oh, okay. I see.
And then I was like, why don't I just wait another 16 days?
Yeah. Why not?
And I'll so they'll have the same anniversary.
That's cool. That's cool.
So yeah, we got the anniversary show coming up on the 1st at Mohawk Place. And that is 12 years celebration for All West New York Radio, 2 years celebration for All West New York News.
Awesome.
Seriously, 12 years.
That's
I
really
tell people
cool.
sometimes, they're like, what do you do? Depending on who I'm talking to, I tell them different things.
Yeah,
if I meet random people, I tell them, I do commercial voiceovers because that's my do.
That's what I do.
But, if I meet a musician, I'm like, oh, I run this website. And they're like, oh, that's cool. How long you been doing that? 12 years. And they're like, what?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Was the internet around back then?
Seriously? Dude, it was a different internet for sure.
It was much angelfire.com/All Western New York Radio.
Yeah, something like that.
It might have been GeoCities. It could have been. I don't know. That's how I learned HTML. Angelfire. Thank you for that.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I learned HTML basically by just reverse engineering everything.
Yeah.
I would just go to websites and just
there you go.
view source code.
Look at the code.
Now it's useless.
Yeah. Well.
Now it's pretty you go to a website, you're like view source code, and it's all PHP, JavaScript,
crazy,
and I'm like, I have no idea what any of this is.
I don't know.
It's funny the stuff that I learned. I built my first web page in 1996.
96. Oh man, was the internet around back then?
It was, but it was a different internet, man.
Much different.
It was a much different internet.
The information superhighway.
Yeah, like when I learned that you could make text different colors,
that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
And everybody on their email signature had ASCII signatures.
Oh,
they
yeah.
drew flags and stuff.
Man. Wow.
Because that was a huge deal.
Wow. It's been a while since I've seen one.
And then, so I jumped on eBay when eBay first started.
Back in the times.
And I developed. So, you ever heard of this game called Pokemon?
I've heard of it in passing.
All right. So when Pokemon was just Pokemon, and there weren't 4 billion of them.
It wasn't a dynasty.
There was 151, I think, in the first edition.
First generation, something like that. Not that I'm a nerd.
I made an HTML Pokedex.
Really?
I did.
Wow.
And I wish that I still had it, because basically I took all the information on all the different Pokemon.
Nice.
And took images,
right?
Of all the transitions. And each one got its own page.
Nice.
And then there was a menu page, and you could just click through.
Different text colors for watery Pokemon are blue.
Yeah.
Or fire or red.
And I put all that on a CD.
Cool.
And I sold it on eBay for $10.
The Pokedex?
Yeah.
Wow. That had to be a hot item at the time, though.
Honestly, it was.
Yeah.
It really
that was.
I really wish I still had one.
The fever was sweeping with the Pokemon in the 90s.
So that's, and obviously doing that, I'm like, oh, I really got, to learn how to design some HTML.
Right, yep.
And then I had my first actual website. I had a web page in 96, but it was literally a page.
Page, exactly.
Because at the school where I went to, everybody got their own page. And it was ashland.edu/tilde and then your name.
Okay.
So mine was ashland.edu/tilde W. Leffler.
Okay.
So, and I'm sure now there's a W. Leffler 2 and 3 and et cetera. But mine was just because the internet was brand new. So I designed a page there, but then I designed a website just a year later.
Right.
And I've been, slowly doing other web things now. And I think now, I want to say I own 12 or 13 domains.
Really?
Now, most of them point back to All West New York News.
Okay. Well,
because there's All West New York News All West New York Radio,
Mhm.
All West New York Sports, All West New York Deals, All West New York Events, All Western New York Awards.
Awards, I was going to say.
And there's a
What
few
don't
more.
we have?
Yeah, there's a few more in there too, and there's others that I want to do, and we'll talk about that at another time when we're not on the air before people steal it.
No
but,
plagiarism, please.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
Wow. That's impressive, actually. No GoDaddy domain names in the list there.
You know what? Actually, when
Really?
I used to have, I think actually when I got allwesternnewyorknews.com,
Mm-hmm.
I bought it with GoDaddy.
That was really the only site I knew of that you could register.
But I mean, that was 2 years
domains.
ago.
Yeah.
And then, so I just forwarded, like basically I just needed the domain name and I forwarded it.
Yep.
But now they're all on Google domains.
Of course, Google owns the world. They own
really do.
Everything that you eat, breathe, drink, sleep, it's Google.
Yeah. So, and one of the nice things about Google domains is I can create email addresses.
Yeah, that is nice.
GoDaddy, you can't do it. That's
Yeah, that is nice.
So with Google domains, you can create your own email addresses, forward things, etc.
Nice.
So so that was pretty cool, and I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about some things that we're gonna do.
Me too. I think it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna get my typing fingers stretched out and ready to do maybe a little editing for All Western New York News and keep my golden radio voice conditioned for the Cory comments on every Friday at 2 and 5 p.m. Only on All Western New York Radio. Please listen. I need listeners. Thanks, guys.
He needs fans and stalkers, too,
I know.
by the way.
Well, if Laura, she doesn't stalk me, I wouldn't say. I would say more Joe. I would say more Joe with the cyber stalking. Anyway, wasn't she supposed to come here this winter?
She was supposed to come here in December.
Laura, what happened?
I was really excited. Like I wanted to take her out to dinner.
Yeah.
She
could have went to the buffet with us.
She could have went to the buffet at the casino with us. Dude, it's a beautiful buffet.
Oh yeah, that was great. I enjoyed it. But if Laura was there, even more enjoyable. I tell you what.
Wow. Sounds like somebody has a crush on her.
Hey,
She's
I
not
need
even English though. I think she's from like Miami or something.
She said, she told me, and she's gonna kill me now because I forget. Because I called her a proper English woman or something on Twitter, and she was like, actually, I'm from Kentucky or whatever it was, Florida. I can't remember. Sorry, Laura.
Same thing. Kentucky,
Florida,
Florida, the same.
Maine. They're all together, right?
Yeah. There's Western New York, and then there's everything else.
Yep. For us, it sure is. It's a little bubble.
Although I do kind of feel like she might have the right idea now.
Yeah.
Like I've been seriously like considering like getting a work visa for somewhere else and just not coming back
and
ever.
Go. I think I know where she's in England. I think it's Salford. But I can't remember where she's from. But that's the
you
dream.
clearly talk to her more than I do.
I looked at her Twitter page. I'm not saying that I'm a
Sliding
cyber
the DMs
stalker.
there?
No DMs. Although Cory into House X on Instagram, if you'd like to. Not even just for Laura, but if Laura wants to DM me, you can slide either way. Really, I guess. It's a two-way street, I suppose. But I think she's in Salford, but it's bothering. Memphis, I think, was where she's actually from in the
She's
States.
from Tennessee?
I think it's Memphis.
Tennessee.
Because I think I said something about the Grizzlies.
Hold on, wait. Did everybody tell me that listening? you noticed that he's like. Blah, 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 blah. I think she's from Tennessee. Because I think I said.
Yep.
He immediately switched into like Tennessee speak.
It comes out. I got a bunch of family in Nashville and Memphis area. Yeah. So it's cool. So I've never been there.
Went there on vacation once. Not Nashville. We went to Murfreesboro.
Sure.
And Lynchburg.
That I know. I'm familiar with.
So we went to Lynchburg, Tennessee.
Is that the Jack Daniels place?
That is where the distillery is. And it's a dry county.
Really?
You cannot drink alcohol.
But they just make it and
they can make it, they can sell it. Now, I actually own property in Lynchburg, Tennessee.
Cool.
Now, it's only an inch square. But
square inch.
It goes all the way down.
Okay. Well,
if you go to the distillery, you can like sign up for their newsletter and they give you a square inch of property.
Okay, I see. But technically,
they do tell you, they're like, but it goes all the way down.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's all you need.
That's kind of funny.
Down to Lynchburg, go down to Memphis and visit Laura. I don't know if she's there ever, or does she just work? And who knows?
I'm unaware of her having left England at any point, but
she was gonna come to Niagara Falls or Buffalo.
She was gonna come here, and she just didn't.
So disappointed.
I really am.
Tisk, Laura.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So, what are you looking forward to this summer?
Oh, man. What am I not looking forward to? Definitely live music is always number one for the summer.
Yeah.
Rochester, we're lucky to have some really cool venues, especially outdoors in particular.
Right. And you get a lot of cool festivals, too.
Yeah, the festivals are kicking all summer long. There's everything you could think of, really. There's something for everybody, whether you like jazz or rock or whatever, classical. Not even just music either. There's art festivals. There's all kinds of stuff. Food, of course. There's like the Rib Fest and great beer fest.
I love when you do Cory comments on, because you often talk about these different festivals that you're at. And, you're one of the few voices that we have out in Monroe County. We've got you, we've got Judah, and Judah does the food gig.
That's right. Yep.
And obviously he peppers in some local stuff when he does it. But for the most part, you represent when it comes to Rochester.
I got to hold down the 585, formerly the 716. Not anymore. That's you guys are out here now, I think, but 585.
So I've always considered Rochester to be part of Western New York. Technically, you're not.
Yeah. How is it not Western New York?
Do you ever see a map of Western New York?
Probably not.
You ever heard the phrase the 8 counties of Western New York?
Yes.
All right. Monroe is 9.
We're the outlier?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well,
but
what?
I've always
Screw it.
Ever since day one, I've considered Monroe County to be part of Western New York. Because why would you not?
It is.
So yeah.
I didn't know that we're the outlier, but you know what? I like that though. We're the outsiders on the edge.
You really are. It's a different world over there.
Oh yes, it is. It is the. I don't know if it's really the murder capital, homicide capital
of Rochester.
Definitely of Rochester. I think of Western New York, right?
I don't see Rochester being the murder capital of anything.
You'd be surprised.
Really?
You'd be surprised.
Alexa, how many murders were committed in Rochester last year?
This might answer your question. The closest answer I know is from 2015, when Rochester, New York's murder rate was 16 murders per 100,000 people.
That seems like a lot, right?
Question?
Yeah. That's pretty high.
Yes, Alexa, thank you.
People.
So I don't know if you could hear that because I didn't have her turned all the way up, but she said 16 murders per 100,000 people.
Thanks for your feedback.
That seems significant when you think about it.
Kind of does.
Yeah. Well.
Alexa, volume 6. We'll try this. Alexa, how many murders are there in Buffalo each year?
Sorry, I don't know that.
She only likes Rochester.
Apparently. Alexa, what's Buffalo's murder rate? Alexa, what's Buffalo's murder rate?
In 2015, Buffalo, New York's murder rate was 16 murders per 100,000 people.
They're such similar cities.
Wow. Murder City Outlaws.
Yeah, in a way, yep. There's people get shot all summer long. You can't turn on the news and not hear it.
I get tweets from the Buffalo Police Department, like every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, BPD's on scene of a shooting. And I always look at the neighborhood because I got friends, and I'm like, where's this one?
Exactly, yep.
And
you never know.
Fortunately, none of my friends have been shot yet.
Fortunately, that's a good thing.
I had to throw in the yet, though. Mm-hmm. Because let's just be honest here,
some
of my friends are sketchy. And it's going to happen.
The situation we'll prepare in the future for that if it were to occur, but hoping nobody's getting shot. I want people to put down the guns, put down the weapons, please. We're past that now, right? Aren't we as a society? Shouldn't we evolve past the violence and the need? I don't know. We can get into a gun control debate for the entire night, but we wouldn't have time. But it doesn't make sense to me. I don't like guns.
So I think the best thing for people to do really would be if everyone put their guns down and just took all their clothes off.
Something like that.
And fight for Jesus.
Yes. Well,
I'm sorry. I get that it's maybe it's not the best thing to pick on. But I'm fighting for Jesus part was just too damn funny.
It was bizarre. I didn't know what he said at first. I heard Jesus, and then I was reading through the article. We're talking about Zay Jones, by the way, and his incident,
which was Cory's most recent topic.
Yes.
On Cory Comments on, which appeared Friday on All West New York Radio. You can download the podcast right now. Well, not right now because you're listening to this show. But when you're done with this show, if you missed Cory's show from Friday, you should really listen.
Check out how I feel about Zay and NFL players smoking marijuana, because I think he definitely smoked a synthetic drug, or maybe not necessarily smoked something.
So your theory is that he smoked a synthetic because it hides the real thing?
It just had all the signs were there of people that use hallucinogenic, synthetic, stronger drugs. They tend to end up naked for some reason. I don't know. They tend to end up naked, disoriented, and violent, and that was fit all the descriptors for Zay.
I was with you on naked.
Mm-hmm.
I was with you on disoriented.
Mm-hmm.
Violent, I've been there. I don't. The last thing I need
suppose
is
it
more
depends.
naked, disoriented, violent people in my life.
Yeah. I don't look for them. They find me
They
most
do.
of the time.
You have a magnet.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get rid of that someday. But
It happens.
sometimes it's let's shake things up a little bit and some naked, aggressive people. But none of the zombie face eating bath salt stuff, please. Don't. Oh man. Crazy. I don't know if it could be that too. I mean, I think he smoked maybe synthetic marijuana, but it could be also the bath salt stuff that I don't even know what it is. It's just chemicals.
I don't know what the bath salt thing is.
It's chemicals.
And now I know that the bath salt thing was a big deal a few years ago.
Because you could get it at like the gas station, and now you can't anymore.
I don't know. Like, can't you just get it at like Bed Bath & Beyond? Bath & Body Works? Victoria's Secret?
For the real thing, yes. The authentic, nice smelling bath salts, yes. But if you want the PCP bath salts, you got to go to the head shop or whatever.
I did a voiceover last week. 10 things to add to your bath water.
Really?
Dude, I do some of the weirdest voiceovers.
I can't think of more than like one.
Well, like one of them was like honey.
Why?
I don't know. One of them was tea leaves. Like
I can see
basically
that.
they want you to like bathe in tea.
That sounds
But
kind
then
of
you
good.
need but then you need a shower after your bath.
Yeah,
Because
you're
the
gonna
last thing I
stink,
want to
yeah.
do is like show up somewhere and smell like tea.
Yep,
People
stinking.
be like, "What the fuck is that?"
Mhm.
I don't know, man. It's tea.
Out in the fields all day picking tea leaves.
Out in the fields picking tea. I'm trying to remember what else there were. But there were like all these things to like add to your bath water. I'm like, why?
Well,
like,
first of all, who takes baths?
there's
first
that.
of all.
We'll start there.
Yeah.
Like I haven't taken a bath since I was 10, 12.
I was going to say I was probably like 9 or 10, yeah. Probably last time. At a certain point, it just becomes, I don't even know. Like, a shower's just more convenient anyway.
Super.
It's quicker. You're not sitting in your own,
Right.
not excrement, but mess. Hopefully not
What do
excrement.
you do in the bath?
Hopefully not excrement. That was the wrong choice there. It's sitting in your own mess, your own aura.
Your own filth.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I mean, I try not to be filthy in the first
Look,
place.
Madge, I soaked in it.
Pretty much. Tea leaves, throw some rose petals in there, man.
That might have been one of them. There were like 10 of them.
That's all I can really
'Cause
think
you know
of.
I do a lot of these like list things.
Yeah,
They're
oh yeah.
But like, why? Like,
I'm not taking a bath, and if I do, I'm saving the honey to actually eat it. Put
like
on my
honey.
cereal. Honey's great.
no, I'm not a fan of honey.
Oh.
I don't like the only honey thing I like is Honey Nut Cheerios. And you know
That
why?
was my first guess.
Because they don't taste like honey.
Yeah, it's just sweet. Oh
Right.
man, they're so good.
Like Apple Jacks. They don't taste like apples.
Not even a little bit.
They don't taste like Jacks.
Nope.
So at least none of the Jacks I've ever dated.
Nope. Nope. Me neither. Jack Eichel.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future if you're lucky.
Well, you know.
Jack Eichel. He's gonna be a stud out there.
I just want him to play hockey.
Yeah. Me too.
Like, if you could get that part down,
God,
then
I
I'll
know.
consider throwing in my phone number.
I know. Jesus, Jack, please, man. We need some people around him as well, though. Can't throw it all on.
Well, you know, without a doubt. Yeah. So what about the Bills?
What about the Bills?
Are they going to do anything this year? They basically got rid of their only good player.
In a way, yeah. I mean, what we're talking about Tyrod here?
I was talking about Tyrod.
Okay, of course, LaShawn McCoy is our best player.
I never heard of him.
Of course,
Never heard of him.
Are maybe next in line.
Dude sounds shady to me.
It was Sammy Watkins, I suppose, before his trade, and then I mean, yeah, you want your quarterback to be, your go-to guy, your best player, but Tyrod needed to go.
I know the Tyrod deal had a lot of support. I
He
know a
needed
lot of
to go.
people like it. I don't.
I liked him, but he was never gonna be the guy for me anyway.
But he got us to the playoffs.
Yes, he did.
And
Yes, he
honestly,
did.
anyone who doesn't think that it's Tyrod that got us to the playoffs,
He played major hand. A lot of people point to other stuff.
That makes
but-
no sense to me.
Yeah,
like,
no.
oh hey, like we finally got it. And okay, so maybe he's not the franchise forever quarterback,
No, definitely not.
but
He was good for the right now.
But what's wrong with keeping a decent quarterback while we look for a great one? Like what?
Yeah.
It's not like a relationship.
That's the argument.
Like you don't have to divorce your first wife
Yep.
to find your second wife.
Yep. Unless
you can still look for your second wife while you're with your first.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe this is not the best
If
analogy.
you're
but you know what I'm saying
Mormon
here.
or something like that, you might be
Right.
able to just move freely between.
Right. Like the Sabres or the Bills should be more Mormon. Like
Yes,
that. Yeah.
move freely in between.
Right. Or like
I
Newt
would like
Gingrich.
that.
Like Newt Gingrich. Like he was always on the lookout for the next
Yes.
ex Mrs. Newt Gingrich.
Oh man, man, that guy. How many freaking lawsuits? Newt. Damn it. Couldn't keep his hands clean. That Newt. He's like a newt. He was like just like his name, a little creature. Newt Gingrich, little slimy fucker.
Did you see the O.J. Simpson If I Did It interview?
I heard the important parts that went down in it. I did not watch it.
Did you look at it as a confession?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You think O.J.'s straight up being like, you know what? I did it. Nothing you knew about it.
He was... Actually, I was going to say he was careful in the way, but he worded it, but he really wasn't, actually, kind of. He
it
slipped
really
a little bit.
Like he could he could have a press conference and be like, yeah,
exactly,
I murdered a bitch.
Exactly. There's no recourse.
Right.
There's no double jeopardy or whatever it is. You can't be tried again, but he wasn't even particularly careful about some of the stuff he said, but he's, to me, it was a, not so much if I did it, here's what I would have done. That was like what his book was called or whatever. It was like, okay, I probably did it, and here's what happened. I may have done it, and here's what probably went down. And it's a little foggy, but yeah, Nicole and Ronald, or whatever his name was. Man, that was crazy. Trial of the century, OJ.
Now, did you happen to see last week the Playboy Playmate that claimed to have had an affair with President Trump before, like 12 years ago or whatever?
Is Stormy that we're talking about
Stormy.
here? Not Stormy.
Stormy's the porn star.
Okay.
This is the Playmate.
What's the difference?
There's a huge difference. Hold on, let me see.
No, yeah, okay. You're right. I don't want to diminish
I don't remember her name.
Any
so
Playmates.
You didn't see the interview?
I have not seen it, no.
Playmate Trump.
I just love that the other one is Stormy. It's such a good name. Stormy Daniels.
Images. All right, if you look over your shoulder, this woman right here.
Oh, wow.
Had an affair with Donald Trump.
Pretty hot.
Now, you've seen Stormy Daniels.
Yes.
She's also pretty hot.
She's all right. She's not my cup of tea, really, but she's...
Really?
I can see why she was an adult film actress.
I actually think she's pretty hot. I follow her on Twitter. She's hilarious.
I might have to follow her.
She really should. She's honestly, she's brilliant. So we've got her, like, she definitely does not hurt to look at.
Okay.
Then we've got this girl here.
What's her name?
What the hell is her name?
She's a Playmate. See, I don't really... I would look at
Karen
my dad's
McDougal.
Playboys. Karen McDougal.
Yeah.
That sounds familiar. She wasn't like an actress or nothing else? Or...
No, she was a Playboy Playmate.
Playboy Playmate. Karen McDougal.
And, I just... The thing I don't get, and I actually mentioned this previously, if I'm Donald Trump, and I'm pulling women that look like this, the last thing I'm going to do is pay them to not tell anyone.
You would think.
Like,
you would think.
I'm going to be like, here's $50.
Yeah.
Tell everyone.
I want that dirty laundry in the
Seriously.
streets.
Call a press conference.
Please.
Tell your friends.
Please.
Yeah. And, like, the funny thing, disturbing, like, both these women were like, he was pretty good.
I mean,
I don't necessarily want to think of that.
I don't want to picture it.
But I am kind of surprised. Because
he's the Don.
I wouldn't think that Biff Tannen would really know what he's doing.
Probably
we have
not.
President Biff Tannen.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
I don't know.
The Don seems more capable.
I'm a little jealous of him.
Of course. I mean,
not for being
powerful
president.
Guy.
Like that, I don't envy that at all. I wouldn't want to be president.
No, me neither.
But like to have that kind of pull, yeah.
Yeah, he's grabbing them by the you know what, and they're
they don't even
coming
mind.
right.
They don't say anything.
I guess not.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was
a crazy world.
I really thought that particular thing might actually derail his election, actually being elected, and to me it seems like it was swept pretty quickly out of public view or whatever.
Well, there's two very distinct worlds. Mm-hmm. There's the world where Donald Trump can do no right.
Yes.
And then there's the world where Donald Trump can do no wrong.
Wrong. It's a delicate balance.
The twain shall never meet.
Yep.
That's the strangest thing.
Crazy.
Corey, we're, believe it or not, just about out of time.
Really?
Yeah. Was there anything that you wanted to mention? Things you want people to know? Your I don't know, your Hotmail password.
No.
Your OkCupid profile.
Plenty of fish.
How people can get a hold of you now that there is no Craigslist personals.
The Craigslist personals, I know. Rest in peace to the Craigslist personals.
Yeah.
And you could find some pretty
really
funny stuff for there. I'm pretty sure I have one from a long time ago. Yeah.
I have an OkCupid from like a decade ago.
Yeah, it's probably
and like
pretty
every once in a
old.
while I get an email and they're like, hey, here's who you meet up with.
Here's your matches.
And I'm like, hey, I wonder. And I'm like, what am I doing?
I don't look like this anymore. That was a decade ago. Man, Plenty of Fish is, there really isn't Plenty of Fish. The name is a lie. There's, or on the website anyway, there's not plenty of, unless you like catfish and
Oh, well, there's that.
the ugliest fish you could.
One of the things that used to frustrate me with OkCupid, which is the only dating service that I've ever tried, is I would get matches in Canada all the time.
Yes.
And, like, there's no way to filter that.
Ontario, county, and whatever.
Like I would imagine even you, because, like, they go by, like, distance.
Yep.
And so they're like, this woman's 30 miles away, and you're like, oh, that ain't bad. And then you're like, oh, it's 30 miles across that big lake that I can't,
I gotta go through
swim across.
Customs just to meet this girl and have her be a 40-year-old German guy. That's not a good night right there. Damn catfish. Stop catfishing people.
Yeah.
Be yourself. Be yourself. Even on the internet. I mean, I'm not going to say I haven't lied about my height and weight on the internet before, but nothing really too serious.
All right.
No catfishing.
Cory, we're out of time, man.
Well, time flies when you're having fun, right?
Seriously. Thanks for coming out.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Ladies, gents, children of all ages, thanks to Cory. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll do the YouTube thing. And then we come back. I'm going to tell you about an owl that ruined a wedding. You've been listening to Here's the Thing on All Western New York Radio. I'm Scott Leffler, and he's
Cory McKnight.
Out.
2017 was the safest year in the history of commercial air travel. Data released by the Aviation Safety Network reveals that there were no crashes involving commercial airlines anywhere in the world last year, despite the volume of air traffic reaching a historic high. When acts of suicide, sabotage, and hijacking are excluded, the year saw 14 air accidents with 59 deaths. That represents an improvement on 2016, when there were 17 accidents and 258 fatalities. The worst incident of 2017 occurred in January when a Boeing 747 cargo plane crashed into a village in Kyrgyzstan, resulting in the deaths of all 4 crew and 35 people on the ground. The accident with the most onboard fatalities happened on New Year's Eve when a Cessna 208 Caravan crashed in Costa Rica, killing all 12 people aboard. The Aviation Safety Network did not include accidents involving helicopters and military aircraft. Therefore, incidents such as the crash of a Myanmar Air Force Y-8 transport aircraft in June that killed 122 people was omitted. The most recent accident involving a commercial airliner happened in Colombia in November 2016. It involved an Avro RJ-85 operated by Lamia, with 71 of the aircraft's 77 occupants losing their lives. 2005 was the last year where there were more than 1,000 deaths on commercial flights, and the trend has continued on its downward trajectory. Currently, the accident rate stands at 1 fatal passenger flight accident per 7,360,000 flights. You may have heard that U.S. President Donald Trump took credit for the fact that there were no commercial air travel fatalities last year. Here's the thing. In the U.S., there were also no commercial air travel fatalities in 2016, 2015, 2014, 2013, 2012, 2011, and 2010. In fact, the last fatal commercial plane crash in the U.S. was in February of 2009, when Colgan Air Flight 3407 fell from the sky while flying from Newark, New Jersey to Buffalo, New York. It crashed into a house in Clarence, New York. All 49 individuals on the plane were killed, along with one of the residents of the house. But, hey, why let facts stand in the way?
Ladies and gentlemen, today, the role of Scott Leffler will be played by Captain Crunch.
All right, welcome back to Here's the Thing. I'm your host. My name's Scott Leffler. As promised, when we went into the break there, what I have coming up is a story that's the bird war's insane. You know, they hate us for our freedom. They hate us for our french fries. They hate us for our Nikes. They hate us for all sorts of things. Apparently, they hate the fact that we have wedding ceremonies. That could be the only thing that makes any sense, as this story from the Daily Star, which is a UK organization, it's a UK news site, from today, actually, published March 26, 2018, says, bird-fearing best man savaged by ring-bearing owl during hilarious wedding fail. This is the moment an owl went rogue during a wedding ceremony and attacked the bird-fearing best man during a hilarious incident. Oh yeah, hilarious. I love getting attacked by owls. Ha ha! This is so funny. Oh, look, there's my guts all over the church. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a war. It is a war between birds and us, and it's not funny. It's not a hilarious incident when an owl, which is a type of bird, I might add, attacks someone in a wedding. It's just wrong in every sense of the imagination. It's just there's nothing right about it. But the story, which is, again, from the Daily Star, and it's written by George Mills. So, Jenny Aerosmith and Mark Wood hired the bird as ring bearer for their dream ceremony at a Peckforton Castle, Tarporley, Cheshire, last Saturday, March 17th. All right, so if you get married in a castle, don't have an owl be your ring bearer. Can we start there? Can we just, make that? The clip begins showing a handler bringing the bird down the aisle as friends and family gasp at the magnificent bird. It can be seen carrying the rings in a pouch around its neck as it flies towards the front of the church, towards the unknowing, the victims who are going to be attacked, and they're writing the story up as though it's some really funny thing. But mayhem breaks out moments later as the bird becomes distracted and takes an instant dislike to the second best man sitting on the front row. It launches itself towards him, knocking him off his seat in a cloud of flailing wings and squealing. Thankfully, the bride and groom also saw the funny side and joined in the hilarity as much as their guests. I can only guess that the bride and groom joined in the hilarity by kicking the other guy or hitting him with a shovel. Hey, look, there's a bird attacking a guy. That's really funny. Let's join in. It was one of the best moments I've ever seen, wedding photographer Stacey Oliver said. What is wrong with you people? There's a bird attacking someone. He's like, hey, I'll be the best man in your wedding. And then a bird attacks him, and they're all like, ha ha, sucker. Dude, seriously, y'all fucked up. One of my friends had an owl ring bearer at her wedding, and it all went to plan. It flew in, dropped them off, and went back. So this happened. It was just so funny. Seriously, though, the best man's reaction when he fell off the seat and the crowd erupting into laughter was just great. For some reason, the owl just decided he wanted to go for him, and he was just terrified. He's absolutely petrified of anything that flies. Obviously, the best man is the only one with any fucking sense in this story. Forgive my fucking French. Yes, Laura, I can swear if I want to. It's my goddamn show. Then there was a panic when the owl flew off, and we didn't know where he was, but it was fine. We found him. Oh, thank God the owl didn't get hurt. The poor little owl that just attacked some dude who's got a fear of owls, a completely justified, rational fear of birds flying at him. Bride Jenny added, it was absolutely hilarious. Peckforton Castle have never seen it before. It was an amazing day for both of us and has given us great memories that we will never forget. Now, it doesn't say in here, of course, but clearly it wasn't great memories for the best man who was attacked by an owl as part of a horrible, just, the bird war is real, ladies and gentlemen. And now it's gone into weddings. Birds, owls are attacking people at weddings viciously, violently, for no reason whatsoever. Just because they can. And of course, the owl knew that the best man was scared, I'm sure. They can sense fear. Evil things can tell when you're afraid of them. Owls, one of the most evilest of the evils, in my personal opinion. You might disagree. But if you do, you're wrong. And if you want to let me know, then please do so on Twitter, @ScottLeffler. All right, ladies, gents, children of all ages, that's really all I have to say today. But thanks again to Cory McKnight for being on the show. Oh, and don't forget, if you want to watch the actual YouTube videos that I play in those little clips, you can view them, and I'll put the link to them, as well as the link to this stupid owl story, in the description of today's podcast, which will be available at some point later tonight on allwesternnewyorkradio.com and all of our podcast subscribers, blah, blah, blah. So, thank you again for your time. I really appreciate you listening. It means the world to me. So, you have a wonderful day, and I got other things to do, but I'll be on the Twitter later if you want to say hey. So, Scott Leffler, have a wonderful day. See you next week. I do not know who my guest will be next week. I don't have one lined up yet, but I'm going to work on that. We'll find out. You'll be surprised. It'll be wonderful. I like surprises. What I don't like is owls.